Hey everyone, I've got a great video for you today. I'm interviewing a good friend of mine, Herbert, who is a Facebook ads master. And we're going to be talking about his entrepreneurial journey. We're going to be talking about how he started from scratch to getting his first client, to then becoming an industry authority, to then making 6 figures a year in profit alone. And with the rising costs of advertising throughout the industry, like that is a pretty solid feat. So I'm honored to do this interview, Herbert. I learn a lot from you all the time. And how are you today, man?
I'm awesome. Thanks for the very flattering introduction, Rob. Great to be here.
I try my best. I try my best. So tell me a little bit about, what it is, you're currently doing. Then we'll dive into a little bit of your backstory, how you got started and everything like that.
Sure. I run a digital advertising agency, and we specialize in running paid ad campaigns, so Facebook, Google, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc., for education brands, so schools, colleges, universities, online schools, course creators, yeah, those types of businesses.
A lot of the people on my channel who watch, some are in different places. Some are kind of at the intermediate, advanced level. There's a lot of people
Mhm.
who are at the beginner or, haven't really started their business yet. Can you tell me a little bit about where you were before you started your business? Like, what was life like? How was everything going?
Sure. Well, I had a full-time job before starting the agency about 3.5 years ago, and it was a pretty easy job. I was well paid. I had a lot of freedom, but I wasn't happy. And I always wanted to, become self-employed, start my own business, start my own company, which I had done previously before, many times and failed. Actually, a few years before I started the agency, I started a business in the fashion industry, selling luxury sneakers, and built up a brand there, but had no experience whatsoever in that industry and made a lot of mistakes and burnt a lot of money. And so I came crawling back to a full-time job. After that, I was a bit um, damaged after that experience that did not go so well. And I guess I took the time during the next, like, I think 1.5 years at that job, just to think about, okay, what other options do I have? What other business models are there? I did not want to make the same mistake again and quit my job and go all in on something that wasn't proven. So this time around, I started off running ads, or I started off the agency while I was working full time. And so it was kind of like a side hobby, a side hustle, until I reached a point where, a level of monthly revenue where I said, okay, now it makes sense to go all in. And yeah, I quit my job, and 3.5 years later, here I am.
Amazing. And it's so funny because what I've noticed about like speaking to many different entrepreneurs is that like they don't just, even though it might look like they have just got this one thing at the moment and this is how they're producing income, there's always like this history
Of
of
course.
repeated like attempts to escape like the box which people have put them in.
Mm.
What was it for you? Why did you want to go out there and start your own business? Why? What you mentioned that you weren't really happy. What was going on there?
Uh, I Unfulfilling work. While it was fine, like the task that I did, it just wasn't aligned with what I like to do. And I guess the biggest thing for me, at least, is I really wanted time and location freedom, which I couldn't get from that job back then. Maybe I could have gotten it now. During the past 2 years, everything's gone online, and um, everyone works from home these days. But I didn't have that opportunity, and so that was kind of the driving factor for me, just to be able to choose my own hours, choose where I want to work from. I love to travel, so I wanted to take the opportunity to test out the digital nomad life as well. And so, yeah, going into my own thing gave me that opportunity.
Amazing. And what was like the first few steps which you kind of took going into, you know, your second business venture, which is kind of what you do now? What were the first few steps that you took, which, you know, were maybe different from the first time where you were creating these luxury sneakers and all that?
I did more research, definitely. I mean, we obviously did research when we launched the sneaker label, but we didn't really test the market. We didn't ask what people wanted in a luxury sneaker. We made up the price point. It was a lot of just guessing without any hard data or facts from our target audience. And so, again, I did not want to make that same mistake. So I did my research. I interviewed people in my target audience to see what their pain points were, especially when it came to online marketing, digital marketing, running paid ads to generate more leads and registrations for their programs and courses. And the thing was, I was working in that industry anyway. So I had experience. I knew the language they spoke. I knew their other problems that they have in their running their type of businesses. So I guess I came across much more authentic because I knew what they were going through.
Yeah, it's interesting that I think like when people think, oh, I'm going to go out there and start a business, they instantly start thinking about all these ideas which are quite far from them, and they haven't actually ever got any real experience in doing, and they think that's just what I've got to do. But sometimes it's easier to make that kind of that 2 mm shift, as Tony Robbins calls it, into something which you've got like a bit of tangible experience in, because then entrepreneurship's hard. Like I'm sure you agree with that as well.
And you need any bit of leverage and competitive advantage you can get, right? Of course, I could have gone into a completely different niche. There are a lot of digital ad agencies out there servicing e-commerce brands, and which is a very exciting industry. But I don't really have that much experience in e-com. I'm sure I could have gotten the experience or tested it out with a few kind of clients right at the start, but I thought it would be easier, at least just to get my foot in the door by having this knowledge of the industry and being able to speak my target audience's language.
Okay. And let's just break this down a little bit. So I know there's people out there who are watching this video right now, and they're going to have very specific questions. They're going to be like, I think I've tried market research and all this. Can we talk about some specific steps? Like, what did that look like when you were speaking to people, when you were going out and doing your market research?
I just asked them, a series of questions from kind of what problems are you facing in your business, and of course they would tell me all types of problems. I can't fix all of them, of course, but I really tried to get down to the problems of how are they generating sales. And how is that connected to their marketing strategy, if they even have a marketing strategy? A lot of our clients, or at least this industry, very traditional industry, and they don't really pay much attention to digital marketing. We're trying to change that, of course. And so just trying to see what has their experience been. Most clients have worked with digital agencies or freelance marketers before and had a bad experience. Why did they have a bad experience? And so I got all of that information from them and was able to design then a website that kind of addressed those topics, those pain points, their problems. And also in the sales calls with them, I kind of already knew in advance what people would say. I knew what their experience has been, and so that was much more convincing again, because I was speaking their language. I knew them inside and out before they even got in touch with me.
How did you getting those first couple of people, going from that market research stage to getting those first few people actually interested enough to hop on a call with you? I know a lot of people struggle with the question of like, well, I've got no real credibility. Like I've got no, how do I tell these people I'm going to get results when I've got no previous results for them? How did you overcome that sort of barrier?
Yeah, a complete imposter syndrome, especially because, at the start you have no references, no case studies to work off. And it just takes a lot of convincing through words and really kind of agitating their problems enough and presenting your solution to them in order for them to kind of trust you to at least give you a shot. I'll admit that the first couple of customers, I did not charge a lot of money to them. But that's, how I got the foot in the door. That's how I was able to test my strategies and theories when it comes to running Facebook ads and Instagram ads for this niche. And just kind of seeing how things work out, the onboarding process and client communication, and getting results for them. So you just need to get your first couple of customers in, whatever it takes. You might need to lower your fee, but that's okay. It's a learning curve, and it's worth it.
Yeah, and I think what you said right there is really interesting. It really is that like kind of whatever it takes mentality. For me, I remember I did a whole bunch of things, but I remember as well, like I did, some free work just to get those people buying for me as well, so I could then take that and show to other people.
Exactly.
Cool. So, we talked, one thing that I struggled with, particularly at the start, because I didn't come from sales, was, sales. I know a lot of people that watch these videos are like kind of from like Sam Ovens community and some of the associated communities as well. How did you kind of adapt to scripts? Was that a challenge for you? Did you find it like a problematic at all to, ask a person for money at the end of the call? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Actually, no, because my previous job was in B2B sales. So nice. No problem at all. And in a past life, one of my first jobs out of university, I used to do telemarketing for a financial advising company. So I was calling people, asking them to invest in like managed funds and stocks. So that's like even worse than just asking people for money to provide them a service that will make them more money. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing, but I feel trying to sell financial services is like one of the hardest things. So I didn't really have too much of a problem, taking those calls and going through that needs analysis, finding out more about their problems and where they are now and where they want to go, and then kind of filling in that gap with what we can offer in terms of our service.
Amazing. And in that starting up period, what do you think like the biggest problem was, the biggest challenge for yourself? What do you think? Was there anything? Maybe was there any like mindset issues? Was there anything like that, or?
No, I was very motivated at the start. I just really did anything and everything to get those first clients. Probably looking back, I probably shouldn't have taken on those clients. They probably weren't the right fit, but hey, again, you just need to do everything and anything to get, and you'll learn from it anyway, and you won't make the same, hopefully won't make the same mistake again. No, I was really, I guess where I probably struggled the most was in the service delivery. I mean, I had had some experience with Facebook ads before, but obviously this is a different level. Now you have a client and you're getting access to their Facebook accounts, and you have to set everything up for them, and the whole process of writing the ad copy and creating the photos and the videos that you would need for the campaigns, optimizing, managing, making sure that kind of everything's working and you're delivering an ROI for them. So the delivery part was probably the most challenging at that stage. Like getting the client, you're so excited to get your first client, right? Or your second client. I mean, I'm always excited when I land a client. But back then it was like, oh shit, now I have to actually deliver. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, again, you just have to do everything you can to deliver on what you promised.
And it's so funny because I've got a lot of people who I've got, some good connections who, do different parts of digital marketing, and they all say like one of the biggest challenges for them is actually in the service delivery, but almost like setting client expectations for people who don't understand it. And they're like, okay, so you're going to run adverts and I'm going to get, customers tomorrow. Did you experience that at all? And if you did, how did you kind of manage that?
Again, from previous experience in B2B sales, I definitely did not overpromise, and it's so important to manage those expectations from the very, very beginning. I mean, some people guarantee results. I don't guarantee results. We will do everything in our power, within our skill, every resource that we have available to get the best results. We can, but yeah, guaranteeing results can be dangerous unless you are a magician.
No, I get you. And I think, there's so many good offers that have been thrown around at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Because people are desperate to kind of get clients on the board, but it is a risky game when you're guaranteeing that much. So if you're a new level business owner and you're kind of watching this right now, where would you recommend people start with to maybe start speaking to their first potential clients? Would you be using LinkedIn for outreach? Would you be using Facebook for Messenger, emails? What do you recommend?
Sure. I use LinkedIn at the very start. I sent out a few cold emails, but I abandoned that pretty quick. And I just went hard on LinkedIn. This was 3 years ago. LinkedIn was used, but it wasn't as popular as it is today. And I got my first clients through LinkedIn. It was a fantastic platform, and just I mean, you're the expert with LinkedIn, and I'm sure your audience knows exactly how to reach out to people. But it was just the standard connect with a short message, and then once they accept the connection request, you start a conversation, ask open questions. So you're not selling in the first couple of messages. You're trying to establish some rapport. Some similarities that you have together, and then going into their business and maybe some problems. So what does your digital marketing strategy look like? Have you had success with Facebook ads, et cetera, et cetera? And the goal is to get that call, that quick 15-minute call to talk more about collaboration.
Never start with a pitch first.
No, never, ever. No, I get it. I get it all the time in my inbox, and I'm like, don't people know these days, especially now, that you shouldn't pitch in the first message? It's an immediate delete.
Yeah, I get it all the time as well, and it's funny when my own competitors pitch me in the first message. I'm like, what is going on here, guys? But so, you started this agency. How did you start to scale it from there? Was the changes in confidence levels? How was that journey from, getting those first few initial clients to then moving forward?
Yeah, it was getting some confidence in service delivery, which I was able to get quite quickly because, again, I literally did everything. I watched so many YouTube videos and did my own learning just to make sure that I could provide the best service possible to my clients, testing so many different strategies and methods to get leads and conversions for the campaigns. And I built my confidence. I was able to ask for more money. I then had references and testimonials that I could fall back on. And yeah, it's kind of like a snowball effect, I guess. The more confidence you have, the more references you have, it just keeps on rolling, and you build your confidence. Then you have to sell less as well. Then at some stage, if you do enough outreach, and also if you're active on social media or pumping out organic content, blogging, making yourself an authority in your niche, then people will come and contact you anyway, and they're much easier to sell because they already trust you. And so you're just qualifying them to see if it would be a good fit to work together. And if it is, then yeah, telling them what the offer is.
When did you realize this is, this is very real now. This is going to be, this entrepreneurship journey is it's going well. And this is probably what I'm going to be doing from now on.
Yeah, 6 months it took. As I said, I was still working at, had a full-time job. And so after 6 months, that was the point where I said, okay, I'm going to quit and go 100%, risk it all, and go all in on this agency.
Amazing. And when you were kind of making it, you got that steady flow of clients from all of your, your social media activity, you've made a bunch of changes to yourself. Were there any bumps in the road? Were there any big challenges you came across where you're like, it's tough?
Some big challenges. Yes. Hiring people. Of course you reach a point, if your business grows, where you can't do everything yourself, and you can really only scale with other people, trustworthy people. So I was ready to hire my first employee, my first media buyer. And yeah, had lots of interviews and hired someone. They weren't the right fit looking back now. And yeah, those were some bumps along the journey. But again, you have to trial and error and make mistakes quickly so you can adjust quickly. So they were only with me for about 3 months, 2 months, 3 months. And then I kind of recognized that they just weren't the right fit for the agency and looked for a new one. And now, yeah, the new one has been around for about 18 months now. So yeah, it's a great fit.
And that's something that I really admire about you, honestly, because you just kind of chuck yourself in and you're just like, I'm going to figure this out on the way. And sometimes, things like that, like the hire, it didn't work out, and you were just like, okay, well, let's just take the learning lessons from it and then move on. And I think in entrepreneurship, that is so, so important to just be able to almost adjust on the way. A lot of people get stuck in that stage of that inertia where they cannot move forward. They're over analytical. I was very much like that as well. Have you got any advice for some people out there that might be a little bit like that?
Yeah, I mean, I was like that as well. I used to take forever to make decisions and overanalyze things, and instead of just making a decision and going with it, and if it's the wrong decision, then you'll find out anyway, and you just need to adjust very quickly. So I've learned through just sheer willpower to make decisions as fast as possible, and making sure that you have all the data, you've done your research, and if you have everything on the table, all the information, the important information you have, you need to make the decision, then it should be easy, you know, for, whether it be a gut decision or you know, weighing up the pros and cons, but not overanalyzing it, and just making the decision with confidence, and going with it as if that is the only and the right decision. And if it isn't, then that's okay as well, because then you will learn from it. You will need to adapt quickly, but then you will know for next time. Hopefully, you will learn from your mistakes and know, all right, maybe I had a judgment error when it came to, you know, this part of the decision.
And how do you know when you've got enough? Because I suppose it's some, looking back for like the younger version of me, this was my problem. Like, I didn't know when I like had enough data to make a decision. Do you know what I mean? When it was a good decision. Is there any kind of rules you use for that? Is there any type of, how do you judge that gut feeling? That's probably a super vague question, but try your best.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer this. I don't know if I can quantify it. I mean, you need to do research. I mean, everyone researches differently. That could take 20 minutes, that could take an hour, that could take a couple of days if it's a bigger decision, or a few weeks if it's a major business strategy decision. But you have to feel that you have all the information, you've spoken to the right people enough times, and then with kind of full force and so what's the word I'm trying to find? Not confidence, kind of yeah, I can't find the word right now. Yeah. Just go with it, and not hesitate.
Okay, and I think like commitment is like a massive thing. Like, you've just got to not second guess it and give it as much as you can, right?
Exactly.
So, I suppose like what's been the biggest shifts for you? What's been like those things which really helped you kick it up a gear, whether it's the personal side of it, whether it's the business side of it, whether it's like support from, you know, different courses or whatever. Is there anything that's been like big shifts for you where you've been like, that's unlocked a whole different level for me?
Yes, I would have to say focus, and eliminating distractions. It's probably been the most has had the most significant impact, whether that be as simple as turning my phone off for the first few hours of the day and just concentrating on one or two specific tasks, and just trying to get into that flow state, where working becomes seamless and you forget about time and you're just so focused on kind of one thing. Yeah, and being able to tap into that flow state when I need it.
Do you incentivize yourself at all? Do you like reward yourself after you've done like a really good day, or how does that work?
Do I reward myself? I'm trying to think. If anything, I penalize myself instead of reward myself. So maybe if I was going to do something, I guess it's kind of the same thing. So for example, all right, if I do this, I don't know, go out for dinner tonight. But my kind of expectation is that I will go out for dinner tonight. That's kind of the standard. And then if I don't get this done, then my penalty will be that I will not go out for dinner tonight. So I guess it's the same thing, but it's just looking at it from a different perspective. And I guess some people use the reward bias, I guess, to incentivize getting tasks done. But for me, at least personally, flip that around and use kind of more of a penalty method.
You know, that's interesting, right? Because I don't respond very well to reward. If I'm trying to get something done, if I issue, um, without sounding like super weird on this channel, like if I make some sort of like punishment for myself as well, like, oh, you can't do this, like, even if it's just something in my head, like, you're letting yourself down or something like that, seems to get me
Yeah,
moving a lot faster.
yeah.
I wonder if that comes from having like kind of a bit more of a perfectionist kind of personality as
Possibly,
well.
yeah. No, definitely. I think punishment is, at least for us, kind of the greater motivator than reward.
Yeah, for sure. So how is your life? Like you went through this giant change, and you went through it in like a relatively short period of time, like just a few years. Like how is your life, your business different now from what it used to be?
I have tried to remove myself as much as possible from kind of the daily workings of the business. And so, I've built up a team now to kind of manage all of those tasks for me. I still like to get my hands dirty, and I'm always there when clients need me. But I have much more freedom now. I'm not in kind of creating the campaigns all day or adjusting assets or writing ad copy. I have a team to do that now, so I can then concentrate on the overall business strategy and also sales.
What about what's that, been able to do for your like your life? Because I know you're a person that loves to get around the globe a little bit.
Yeah, no, I've loved it. I actually used the last 2 years to travel quite a bit. It was fantastic because no one was traveling, so had a fantastic time. Zero tourists, and yeah, no, it's been amazing being able to travel, but also bring my work with me. And I don't find it like a burden to have to, spend a couple of hours a day writing emails or getting on calls with clients or team members. I think it's a privilege to be able to do that while traveling or be on holiday.
And how important do you think, like in the short time frame of life that we've got, do you think it is to like live life on your own terms, which you seem to be doing?
Uh, well, for me, it's like number one priority, YOLO, right? And life, YOLO, and life is too short, and there are too many things to experience, to see, to do. So yeah, I'm all about living life,
It's funny,
living your
right?
best life.
Yeah, it's so funny, right? Because for those who are watching this, like me and Herbert, we meet up. We have a tendency to meet up weekly. We kind of keep each other accountable a little bit, set goals with each other. We've been doing it for a few years now, but
Yeah.
it's funny because I didn't quite realize like how much Herbert loved to travel until like he's in a different room every Thursday, and I'm like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "I'm in blah 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 country," and I'm like, "Wow, crazy, man, crazy."
Uh,
So tell me a little bit about. I know you're working on some giant projects at the moment, some really big sort of some pivotal changes, and it involves a lot of what you love doing as well. Tell me a little bit about what the future is going to look like for you, how that's going, and everything.
yeah. Adjusting or like pivoting the niche a little bit. It's like only a couple of degrees, or not going into a brand new niche, but heading more into the travel niche. Surprise, surprise. And I mean, I'm betting big on travel and the comeback of just people wanting to get out and spend big on travel with a purpose, whether that be experiences or educational travel or big ticket bucket list things. So yeah, we are going to open up a new agency to cater for that niche, and yeah, go hard on travel.
Amazing. And I just want you all to pay attention to this at the moment. Is that, like, a lot of the advice out there is you should, create a business around your passions and things, but there's no harm in eating a little bit of, like not doing those things for a few years and then eventually pivoting there when you have more choice, more experience, more
Exactly.
money underneath you, which is exactly what you've done.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. The current niche is not my passion. It's the niche that I've worked in and I know, but it's not like my until death kind of
Yeah.
niche. And but that's fine. I'm good at it. It has been able to provide me with a great lifestyle, and I'm so grateful for that niche. But now I think is the time, and I have the time, the resources, and the experience now to be able to decide. All right, let's go into this kind of more aligned niche that fits with my hobbies and passions, and do that.
Amazing. I love it. So I've got just kind of rounding up here. I've got a few final questions for you.
Sure.
I'll tell you them both ahead of time just so you can so there's going to be different questions. So one is going to be, what's the biggest mindset tip you've got for business owners, and what's the biggest tip now for business in general for people who are getting started? So yeah, either one of those, handle in whatever order.
Mindset tip. I love personal development. Love reading books and attending seminars and courses. Probably the kind of the biggest shift for me was just like, I'm only competing against myself, really. And like everything that has come about, my successes, my losses, is me. It's all me. Sure, I could blame external factors, the economy, bad product market fit, whatever. But if it's just me and my mindset, and me kind of fighting against myself, and the limits and the limiting beliefs I have set for myself. So really kind of internalizing that and knowing, all right, as they say, if you set your mind to it, you can achieve anything, blah, 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 which is true, of course. But kind of really knowing that I have put some kind of barriers on the path, on my path myself. I've put those barriers in there. So just being aware of that, and dealing with yourself, and being at one with yourself. And I think one action that has really helped is one, meditating. I don't do it every day, but I think a couple of times a week, 15-20 minutes has done wonders. Because if you're not good at doing nothing, then you're probably not good. You won't be good at doing anything. I think it's definitely underappreciated, the art of doing nothing and not thinking about anything. And it gives you such a peace of mind and clarity then when you're working on your business, you're making decisions. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, particularly for entrepreneurs as well, like generally I find that entrepreneurs have very busy minds. They are constantly like
Exactly.
working on things.
Yeah.
So what's kind of like some tips you would give for just business in general, somebody looking to get started? Is there anything, like a big piece of advice you'd give to someone who's maybe, just starting out there?
Follow your strengths. And I mean, I leveraged my experience, and that really helped. I've done multiple businesses, and they, in the past, they were all kind of not linked to any experience that I've had. They all failed. Not saying that if you started a fashion brand without any fashion experience, that it won't work. I know a lot of case studies of people who have built successful businesses in niches that they have that they're new to. But at least for me, I think it gave me the confidence to really speak to the market, because I had that, a little bit of industry experience. So I struggled at the start to pick my niche. I was niche jumping, and maybe I should go into this completely new niche, or this one that I'm currently in isn't that exciting, but hey, at least I've got some experience. And so I settled on that, and it's worked out for me.
Follow your strengths. Love it. So Herbert, where's the place people can find you at the moment? Where's the place people can connect with you, maybe find out more about you?
Of course. They can visit the agency website, which is herbertgerzer.com, or on LinkedIn, Herbert Gerzer.
Amazing. Any final words for anyone?
I think we're entering a very interesting period with what's going on economically, and I think it's not something to. Sure, it's going to affect a lot of people, but there are going to be a lot of opportunities, and just being open and ready for that. I think it's going to be excellent for an excellent period for people who are quick movers and can realize opportunities.
I love it. I love it. So keep your eyes and ears to the ground and be open to opportunities. I don't know about people who are watching this, but I have certainly been making notes throughout this entire session about what Herbert's been saying, and I've been learning a lot as well. Herbert, thank you so much. And
thank you, Rob, for having me.
Okay, have a great one.
Catch ya.